Hello and welcome to Walk the Pod, your daily walking show where I take my podcast for a walk because I don't have a dog. You're very welcome along. This is the fifth and first Friday episode of Series 55 in which we're discussing the theme of courage. And today I've got a real mind-blown thought on courage for you. The idea that we must be courageous in order to be happy. Mind not blown yet? It will be. Welcome to Walk the Pod. Adlerian philosophy and psychology, which is the subject of the book The Courage to be Disliked by Fumitaga Koga and Ishiro Kishimi, says that we have to be courageous in order to be happy because being unhappy is easier than being happy. What on earth does that mean? Essentially, Adlerian psychology says that being unhappy is easier than being happy because in order to be happy we have got to take responsibility for what happens in our life. So it follows then that if we are unhappy, it's because we've decided not to take responsibility for our happiness in our life. We are saying we're unhappy based on our circumstances. And not all, but most circumstances can be changed with a bit of courage. That's the idea. Now, I'm not saying that's correct, dear friends, and I think if you feel slightly uncomfortable with it, that's pretty natural. But what an interesting idea, though. Hey, given that we're walking around the park together trying to work out how to be, and what an idea that actually if we're going to be happy, we've got to take responsibility for our own happiness. We've got to make changes to bring happiness about because it is available to most of us. Now, absolutely not all of us. Some of us are in a war-torn country, have very difficult physical or mental health difficulties, have bereavements in our lives. We're not supposed to be happy all the time. And sometimes it's well beyond our reach to change our circumstances, but many of us, at many points in our life, can take responsibility for our happiness and make changes in order to bring it about. And I think I subscribe to that point for the most part. But I am also very happy for you to leave me a voice note disagreeing. Of course, it is just an opinion. Walkthepod.com, press the button mark, leave a voice note for Walk the Pod, and I can put it in the very next podcast.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you're talking about Adler. I love him. He may be one of the big three psychologists of Freud's circle, but he gets a lot less attention than the others. And it's usually all about the inferiority complex. I read a biography of Adler recently, and he's just so much more sensible and useful than the others, especially regarding raising children. And I found myself picturing a scene in Freud's house in Vienna in the early 1900s. Freud is smoking a massive cigar and wanging on about penises. Carl Jung is lost in the contemplation of eternal symbols, and Otto Rank is in the fetal position going, "Oh my God, birth, it's such a trauma," And in the midst of all this, Alfred Adler is speaking softly to me in a beautiful Austrian voice. All psychology should be delivered in a beautiful Austrian voice. And he's saying, look, be kind and firm with your children, yeah. Encourage them to gradually assume power from you. In this way, they will achieve significance in the world. Okay, apologies for the accent. And it's hard to encourage somebody else if you're a bit short on courage yourself. So that's how I view courage, learning how to do necessary things despite fearing them, and then passing on that learning to others. Courage is functioning in the presence of fear.
John got the last word of the week on courage there. A brilliant voice note. sometimes I get voice notes and I think, my goodness, I'm grateful for my listeners who are so funny and droll. That was supposed to be a French accent, so now we're equally guilty, John, of xenophobia. Or xenophobic impressions, anyway, not xenophobia. I know you love all the peoples, and so do I. Brilliant last thought of the week on courage. Love that about parenting. Allow the children to take power off you. I'm going to have to look that up. That is, well, I mean, that's courageous in itself, isn't it? Really, really interesting. So thank you. And if you would like to leave your thoughts on courage, walkthepod.com. Press the button marked leave a voice note for Walk the Pod, and SpeakPipe will give you 90 seconds of which to do so, as John did. What can I see directly in front of me? Well, it feels like it's about to snow in the park. I'm not kidding. It is humid, but in a cold way, you know? Like, the air is full of water, but it's freezing. I feel snow or hail or something is hanging over me, and black clouds are overhead. So I really do feel like I've got minutes to wrap this up and get back inside before it unleashes chilly hell on Tooting Gardens Play Park. There's half a dozen pigeons in front of me, eating some bread that's been scattered on the ground. And all that sort of spring is coming, sunshine, vitamin D, yay feeling that I had earlier in the week has just sort of frozen and fallen to the ground and smashed into 1,000 pieces. Meanwhile, Kiwi Rob has sent some photos from New Zealand, which is not even remotely looking autumnal. It still looks like high summer to me, so I'm well gel, Kiwi Rob. We've got 5 episodes of Courage next week. Can't wait to see where we go next. I mean, I think I've just dropped a particularly terrifying thought with the it is easier to be unhappy than happy. Wow. Hope that hasn't thrown you too much. But maybe you agree. Who knows? Thank you so much for walking with me this week, dear friends. It's been a delight to stretch my legs with you. As ever, it's been a delight to discuss and explore our theme of courage. Can't wait to see where we take it next week. Have a lovely weekend. Take care of your beautiful mind, yourselves and each other. And I'll be back with episode 6 on Monday.